What's going on, YouTube? Everybody is getting ready for the fishing season, and this is my first big tournament of the year, Lake Guntersville. This is day one. I'm doing a little bit different format. I'm going to do some narration and kind of give you an idea what's running through my head and whatnot. So, without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start this up and continue this year's journey through all my tournaments. Starting out right out the gate, we're having some issues with the lights.
It was on, I put over.
And
Get it.
I'll get it.
68, Donnie.
Yeah.
What time?
2:45.
Thank you.
I don't think the light was actually on. I think you just saw the reflection of the sunlight on the light. But hey, the is through. I didn't feel like going all the way back to the end of the line anyways, so it works out. So no complaint there. The Phoenix boat that I was in is really nice. I've never been in a Phoenix before, and they have a nice layout.
Yes, sir.
So I was kind of impressed by it. So it's definitely a boat to consider. Alright, pulls the kill switch and it does not shut off. And then right now is when it shuts off. Is when he tries to put the kill switch back in. And that kind of worried me a little bit. And then about 5 minutes later, well, not really 5 minutes, but like a minute and a half later, he finally gets it up and running again. And I'll address that issue later on. But just look at this Guntersville sunrise. It's just a beautiful, beautiful sunrise. And here we are starting out. Ask him if I can switch his map.
Oh, there's no card on it? No. Okay.
And that is going to make for a long day. But I overcame, got my first fish within like 15 minutes of takeoff. Right here, hooked it on a spinnerbait. You can't see it in the camera angle, but there's a bunch of long cattails. And he just didn't fish that side, so I went ahead and took advantage of it and cast right down the side of those cattails, and good solid fish right there.
Fish one.
There's plenty of water in there.
Oh yeah, I brought a couple.
So here we are, trying to leave our first hole, and he's having trouble getting that kill switch to attach and be able to turn the key. But I didn't know what the issue actually was. He's a little bit older, so I didn't know if he knew how the kill switch was supposed to work or what. But it turned out just to be that the key, actually the whole thing turned and it actually loosened up. And I ended up just going ahead and tightening it down as tight as I could so the key would actually, I guess the ignition for the key was just rotating. So we tightened it down and that fixed the problem for the rest of the day, which is a big plus.
That shouldn't come off again.
Not too easy.
Problem fixed, doesn't happen again. We enjoy the rest of our day without any issues as far as kill switch. And Guntersville has tons of these low bridges that lead into the back canals. I think it's kind of cool. I like going under a bridge and checking it out. And the water was crystal clear back here. I saw a little bass scooting around, so that's what I was looking at. But yeah, it's just kind of a cool camera angle I decided to throw into the clip. And here we are. He catches his first fish along this riprap bank, and we're sitting a little bit deeper. You know, the boat's in probably 10 foot, and the bank is, you know, it's like a 45-degree bank with riprap. And he didn't have a net out on the boat, so there was no real way I could help him in any way. So that's why I didn't really move to the front. But yeah, he hooks a nice one. It's a solid keeper. And then he actually catches like 5 or 6 down that same bank, throwing a little white floating worm. It worked out for him.
He's doing what I be doing
Then
if I fish this tournament. Drinking cold beer.
Yeah, I would have to agree with him. It was kind of warm out there. If I was out fun fishing, a beer in my hand would be nice. But here's my first little fish. Wasn't keeper,
I caught him
but
a wheeler like that.
no
problem.
know there's a small canal upriver,
Upriver. Up
and he was out of ideas
just
of where to
before the
go.
bridge on the
So
left, there's a small canal with a bunch of laydowns in it.
I'm just giving him a place to go. And we run up there, and he hooks one, small keeper. And right where I told him there was a fish on a bed, here's my first topwater fish of the whole week. It's a little bitty dink, but it was just kind of fun to finally get bit on topwater. What a monster. And here we are just
We're meeting
idling
fishing,
around.
you don't have anywhere to go. We need to hit deep water docks and just burn them.
Alright, let's go. We'll try that over there?
Yeah, it looks about
Yeah.
as deep as it's gonna get.
He was nice enough to give me the opportunity to just kind of pick a spot because he didn't know where to go. He was kind of dumbfounded. You know, he hadn't done good at all the past day fishing. And to me, I was looking for a little bit deeper water. You know, he'd been fishing really shallow,
Totally different.
and I wanted to
Just go straight across.
go down a little bit deeper. You know, fish stocks that were sitting in 10 foot of water.
Something different. Because that
And,
looks about as steep as
We
it's
move
gonna
over
be
there,
straight
and
across.
we ended up catching a couple of fish. I catch one Kentucky. It's a good salad fish right here, and when I set the hook, I knew it was close to a keeper. And when I got in the boat and saw it was Kentucky, I knew immediately it was a definite salad keeper. So it made me happy. Now coming up here in just a second,
12-inch spot.
I believe, right here.
Stay off of the rock.
I given him some hints, and you know this is where my knowledge shows. Now watch what I tell him.
Right up there. Probably one sitting on that stick.
That's a big one. You called it.
And sure enough, right up on the stick, there's a fish. It wasn't very big. It's like a little 11, 12-inch fish, but didn't quite measure on the spot list. But there was a fish there, and I earned a little bit of respect from him. You know, telling him, you know, he had no intentions of fishing up in that limb that was laying in the water. But I told him just cast up there, catch one, and you know that builds camaraderie between the two of you, and that's definitely something you need when you're fishing an angler co-angler tournament. It's just work together. And something was just telling me, we finally moved out in a little bit deeper water. The boat was sitting like 10 foot, and the dock was sitting way out there. And I was thinking to myself, you know what, those piers look really good. The shade, the sun's hitting it just right. I pitched that in there, and it doesn't hit the bottom but for maybe 5 seconds. And before I could even really reel up, I had a fish. So, and that right there gave me the limit, and this is a salad fish. So there I go. I have my limit. I'm happy, and it's a good fish. Solid 3-pounder, no problem. So, but that's how that day ended up rolling. That was 15 minutes before we had to head back in. He was actually putting his rods away. And on the way back, it made me a little nervous because he didn't know how to navigate the channel. He didn't know what the buoys meant, or the markers that help you navigate the channel. He gets way off, and I'm like trying to tell him, you need to get way over there. He's 400 yards off the channel, and we're probably literally running less than a foot of water. So I'm trying to explain to him, hey, you need to get somewhere out of this area. And it's hard to hear, but you can't hear what we were saying. I tried to turn the volume up, and it still didn't work. There's too much wind noise. Here we are again. Yeah, I'm telling you, you need to stay between the red and green. I don't want to die today. So, but anyways, that's the end of the tournament. We made it through. I got a limit, squeaked across the scale in 61st place after day 1. Day 2, if I would have just had a limit, I would have made it in and been able to fish the final day Friday. Unfortunately, as you'll see in the video for Thursday's tournament day, I made some mistakes. Let my mental attitude destroy that. But anyways, guys, that's day one. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you guys later.